It took 14 weeks, over 1,600 football games being played, a couple of upsets, a few heartbreakers, and definitely some injuries in the process. But we got chaos going into Sunday morning. Who are the four most deserving teams to get into the college football playoff, and who are the four teams that actually will make it in? Let's talk about it. If you are new here, welcome on into the channel. My name is Cole Thompson. I'm a radio show host based in Houston, and I talk college football daily. So if this is the type of content you enjoy, make sure you smash that subscribe button down below. Leave a comment telling me your four teams in the college football playoff. Tell your friends, your family, your workout buddy, your mortal enemies, your sister, your brother, your best of bros, your fraternity brothers, the people in your church congregation, and the drunk passed out guy in a Waffle House parking lot about this channel. We're on the race to 1,000. Then 5,000, then 10,000, then 100,000. Guys, we are going to get there, so make sure you subscribe to the channel now. And as always, let's talk college football. By the way, if you want to give me a follow on Twitter, it's at Mr. Cole Thompson, the exact same as my YouTube handle. So when you click follow on one, make sure you go on over to the other and hit follow on the other. Thanks in advance. College football has chaos, and absolutely it deserves chaos because this is what makes the sport so different than anything else out there. You realize that there are going to be teams this year, more than ever, that actually can puff out their chest and say, no, we would beat them on a neutral field. No, we played a tougher schedule. No, we would win a national championship. And the College Football Playoff Committee is going to smile, look at them, and go, better luck next year. And this is why I feel like, and it always has been, 8 teams belong in the playoff. I will never, ever say 12 is good because 12, you're rewarding mediocrity. You're rewarding teams that did not do their job during the regular season or did not do enough to show everybody we are worthy of playing for a national title. But 8, you can't tell me that there are 8 teams not justifiably worthy of playing for their shot at hoisting up a trophy in Houston come early January. But that's not the way the world works. And the College Football Playoff Committee is dictating right now who are the 4 teams that will be playing for a shot at winning a natty. So what do I think should happen? Let's go there first. Number 1 should be Michigan. They beat everybody. They handled business. Yesterday's game against Iowa was definitely a little bit rocky at times. The rushing attack was potent inside the red zone. The offensive line was good, not great. They were a little bit tired, I think, at the same time. And also, you're getting back Jim Harbaugh for his first game since really early November. Yeah, it was going to be a bit of a struggle, but you won 26-0. So you handle business. You continue to beat up on everybody, minus Penn State and minus Ohio State, which we expected those to be close calls. And you're an undefeated Power 5 conference champion. You belong in the college football playoff. Number 2 is Washington. Folks, when are you going to start listening to me? I know I picked Oregon to win this game. I know I messed up. I apologize, Husky Nation, because if I was somebody who was riding high on you from the beginning of the year, I said back in July, look at this offense. Look at what they can do when you give them time. Look at what Michael Penix can do if you give him one shot. And I can tell you this much. I get a quarterback that has one play to pick up a big first down. I'm calling number 9 in Seattle. That's the dude I want because he did it time and time again against Oregon on Friday night in Las Vegas in the final game of the Pac-12 championship. And then you have a good run game. Dylan Johnson really started to show the world, hey, we are more than just a passing attack team. And the defense stepped up. Defense got a big turnover on Bo Nix. The defense was able to kind of corral the Ducks in the first half. And it was kind of like an addendum to where start of the game, end of the game, ended in the exact same notion. Washington control, Washington regain control. They belong in the CFP. They were doubted. They were scrutinized, but here they are still standing. Number 3 would be Texas. Texas got 2 back-to-back convincing wins over Texas Tech and Oklahoma State. The rushing attack is potent still, even without a guy like Jonathan Brooks, which also huge testament to Steve Sarkisian allowing him to dress for one play just to be a part of the celebration. But it all relies on Quinn Ewers, and Ewers balled out yesterday. Ewers had probably the game of his career, and this was a game that Longhorn faithful were sitting down and saying, man, we got the number 1 kid in the country. What type of offense can we have? That type of offense. And for those of you who are saying, well, Xavier Worthy's now hurt, what does this do for Texas's status? You still realize you have Adonai Mitchell, Jatavion Sanders, Jaden Blue, and CJ Baxter out of the backfield, Jordan Whittington in the slot, and an emerging wide receiver named Jonte Cook, who by this time next year may end up leading the SEC in receiving yards. And your defense was sound. Ollie Gordon was able to do nothing. You forced turnover after turnover against Oklahoma State. And you arguably have the best win in college football. You arguably being able to march into Bryant-Denny Stadium and pick up a victory against Nick Saban. You belong in the CFP. You absolutely do. And Alabama is the 4th team. Alabama yesterday proved to the country that loss in week 2, that team's extinct. That team's dead like disco. That team's not coming back. You will not see a version of that ever step foot on a field led by a Nick Saban-led coaching staff. Ever. It won't happen. It never will. It never should have. And that team is now ready. They're battle tested. They're proven. And they've shown adaptability and continued growth every single week. And I honestly think the reason why behind that is because Alabama realized in week 2, this is now us playing for a playoff spot. We cannot falter. We cannot bend. We cannot break. We have to be as clean cut, fundamentally sound as possible. And Nick Saban did that. This to me is Nick Saban's best coaching job in his 17 years in Tuscaloosa. The man will not go away. Why won't you die? Because Nick Saban can't die. He is Thanos. He is inevitable. And the Crimson Tide rolled their way to another SEC championship. And it means something. It means something for you to be able to show that type of growth and that continued progress throughout the regular season. Alabama has done their job. Alabama has more than deservingly fought, battled, and grinded their way to play for a national championship. And I'll tell you this much. You put them as the 4 seed, you don't want to play them if you're a 1 seed. Put them as the 2 seed, you don't want to play them if you're a 3 seed. Nobody in college football wants to play Alabama. Oh, we want it. No, you don't. No, you don't. You give Nick Saban a month to game prep for you, this is going to get ugly. And it's going to get ugly fast. And if you don't respond just in the same amount of time, it's over. Now, what I think will happen, I think the first 3 that I said are going to happen. I think Michigan's going to get in. I think Washington's going to get in. I think Texas, because of the head-to-head matchup over Alabama, is going to get in. And I think at number 4, you're going to see Florida State. I think Florida State's defense sent a message last night to the College Football Playoff Committee, because it would have been very easy for this to be, say, a 35-31 loss or a 38-35 win. And this comes down to a game-winning field goal, and you have a bunch of high-tempo scoring, and your defense looks flawed on both sides. Would have been easy. This was a defense that held Jack Plummer to under 120 passing yards and out of the end zone. They got a major turnover inside the red zone. This run defense, headlined by Jared Verse on the outside, was able to corral Jawar Jordan and Isaac Arenado and force them to average 3.6 yards per play. They made Jamari Thrash basically uncleanable. He was out of the game. He had 2 big catches. That was it. This defense said to the College Football Playoff Committee, you're not leaving us out. You're not leaving this version out. Now, you can go ahead and say the offense is flawed and that it was anemic and that we need to really headline our rushing attack with Trey Benson and Tafuli. We cannot throw the football. You can make that argument. But you also have to argue, what are the games meant for? What is the on-field play meant for? It is to determine who belongs in the college football playoff. Because if we're just going to say the 4 best teams or the 4 most deserving teams get to go, let's just go to Vegas. Let's look at what the odds say this morning and say, yep, you're in. Ohio State, screw you. Washington, best of luck next year. And Florida State, LOL. Like that's what we'd be saying if the games didn't matter. Texas won a head-to-head matchup over Alabama. I don't like it. I don't think that Texas team exists anymore. And I don't think that Alabama team exists anymore. But matchups matter. Heads-to-heads matter. And the playoff committee has shown you every step along the way the head-to-head matters. Texas has not jumped Alabama. Texas has not jumped Alabama in the slightest. So they have to get in. And Florida State, you can't leave out because they're an undefeated Power 5 conference champion. And you can't leave out Washington because if they went through adversity, it was a close call. But they have back-to-back wins over a top 10 team in Oregon. Oh, and by the way, they also are a conference champion. And Michigan handled business against everybody. Is it the right 4? Probably not. But this is where I think the committee mind is made up. Ultimately, my prediction, Michigan 1, Washington 2, Texas jumps to 3, and Florida State will round it out at number 4. About to find out if chaos really does exist. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching that video. Don't hit the X button yet. Make sure you hit subscribe to keep up with all of our daily content found on Just Saying It and anything else that we post on this channel. Bye.